There was a Facebook video showing several riders riding along a suburban street like this on road bikes, a little bit like this bike I'm riding now, and a driver in a car pulled out from their car parking without indicating and probably not looking, and cutting off the riders, and one lead rider lost control of his bike and did a nosedive over the front of his bike. It was terrifying. He was very lucky not to die, and I believe the driver just drove off. But she was clearly at fault. However, as cyclists, we've got to be constantly on the defensive. When we go past cars like this, for example, I can see that wing mirror out. I've got to check whether or not there's a person in that car. The faster I go, the more I move out to the centre line like this where I am now, and I always give parked cars as much leeway as possible, and I'm always ready to do an emergency stop. The other thing is practicing bike skills all the time, which is what I'm going to be doing right now. As you can see, I'm starting to go off-road. I could have chosen a route that takes me along roads, but I'm going off-road here. I have to do some shopping along the way, and I'm taking the scenic route. And the really good thing about a scenic route like this is that it really requires a good deal of biking skills, including the ability to brake really efficiently in emergencies. If you haven't been practicing emergency braking constantly, in an emergency the rider will tend to freeze and do all the wrong things, hit one set of brakes like the rear or the front too hard, not have their weight in the right position, with the result they'll, like in that case, go over the handlebars big time, especially if the front wheel does hit something. The other thing that I practice regularly is tumbling. When I'm out running, now and then I'll stop by a field and I'll do some forward rolls, side rolls, that kind of thing, practicing how to do the roll and tuck without doing things like landing on an outstretched arm, breaking an arm, wrist, or breaking a shoulder by landing on the point of the shoulder, or worse, landing on one's head and suffering a catastrophic neck injury or head injury. And no matter how good you are, you can't not do enough of this practicing for emergencies. On the cyclocross bike, there's no suspension, and the tyres are narrow, far less grip, much more likely to bounce around, and I'm in a more forward position, which means that I've got to get my braking and that dead right. So while that woman driving the car, and unfortunately it was a woman, but that's besides the point really. The point is that yes, she was at fault, but there's no point in being an indignant cyclist, but a dead one who's in the right. No point in being right and being dead or paralysed. What's the point of that? So that's what defensive riding is all about. You've just got to be forever on absolute high alert when riding a bike. And what I'm going over right now is a really good way of honing all of the skills of braking. One of the rules in braking, by the way, which I'm applying as best I can here, is the no skid rule. You don't skid. If you're skidding, going into corners, if you're skidding, trying to stop, that kind of thing, then you're not braking properly. It's braking is an incredibly fine skill to develop. And the other thing is, if you're riding, I don't like riding with others when I'm on the road, and that's because you're sort of led along by the bunch. You've got to follow whoever's in front of you. You're not making such good use of your forward and peripheral vision, and also there's the distraction of say talking to your mates, trying to talk while you're riding on the road. Not a good idea. This is really quite steep and gnarly, and the other thing that's annoying me is all the gorse scraping my legs and my arms. I really need heavier clothing riding down here at the moment because of all of this damn prickly stuff. And here we go down this. Trying my back wheel is just giving the slightest tiny hints of skidding, so that's about spot on when I hit those steep rocky downhills, or whoops, better get up on there. Now sharp turn, here we go. So cycling in New Zealand cities, generally speaking, though there are a few exceptions like Palmerston North and Christchurch, for example, but cycling in places like Auckland and Wellington, it's not for granny. It's not for anybody other than the most skilled of cyclists. I don't. Whoops! I just hit a rock. That's what happens when you're talking and not. Wow! See whiz. There was a bit of skidding there, but wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh, prickles. This is quite rotten, so I'm having to concentrate very carefully. Okay. Damn the prickles. It's like a little bit of monastic flagellation. Down we go. Cool. Got to be very careful. Okay, I've made it down. So, yeah, cycling in Wellington is not for the faint-hearted. There are enormous risks. If you just stop at an intersection and get blown over by a little gust of wind, that's enough to put somebody in hospital if they are not prepared through being able to fall properly. For example, if you're doing a little ride through the city on your e-bike, and you for any reason lose control and do anything as gentle as a plop onto the tarmac, that means potentially a broken wrist or broken shoulder, and for an elderly or frail person that is a massive disaster. So and you would have seen this is a popular dog walking area, so I'm being very careful and also being very polite, watching out for dogs. You never know when one's going to run into your path. So again, just watching as I go here, keeping out from the car doors where necessary. You can see there's nobody in this car here, so I can go close, which is good. Just checking the damage from the prickles on my shins. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm picking a route which is damned hilly, but at this time of the day has got very little traffic, which is good. But then again, if there's not much traffic, it must not we must not allow ourselves to become complacent, and because it's when you least expect it that the worst might happen, like somebody driving out of their car, out of their driveway. Excuse me, I'm working hard. The oxygen is going to my legs, not to my brain. So here we go, just about at the top. I've got some very fast downhill coming, and the faster I go down here of this really high point in Wellington, now I'm going down to the sea. So there's going to be a really neat downhill, but I've got to be very, very careful of any cars that might be coming out. So the faster I go, the more I go towards the centre, dominating my part of the road. Keeping very clear, hands on the brakes, ready to slam it on. There's roadworks here, so I've got to be careful. Yeah, we're okay. And let the speed build. Wow. This is exciting, better than bungee. Dodging the manhole covers, any big bumps. Here we go. So this sort of thing, keeping my braking going well. Okay, that was an example of nice controlled braking from quite a high speed. And now I'm going to go left. There we go. And to the top of this. Power our way up. Again, yeah, cars are fine, so I can go close to them. And now down here, the temptation is to go really fast because it's very steep and straight, but I'm going to make sure I maintain control. So that was pretty neat fun. One thing about intersections is even if I've got right of way, I never assume that I'm going to be given it. Bikes never have a right of way. Dead cyclists, yep, they might have had right of way, but I intend not to be pushing up daisies for a while yet. So as I'm going along here, the road's clear, so I'm keeping well away from all the parked cars, any blind spots where somebody might have drive out of their property without looking. Okay, got to be very careful. Car behind, so I'll pull over to the left, let them through, then move out and make the most of my margins for taking emergency action. So I hope that this contribution to bike safety is helpful. Yeah, there's a lot more I'll keep talking about, but that's enough for now. I'm going to concentrate on cycling. Be careful out there, enjoy your cycling, and here's to staying free from injury.